Watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Morning News starts now.
A crisp fall morning, cool temperatures continuing into Sunday. You're taking a live look at Huntsville from our WAAY 31 Sky Camera Network. Carson Meredith standing by, telling us if we can expect our first season of frost. Plus, a new motion filed in Casey White's murder case. The Lauderdale County DA asking for a gag order leading up to the trial for Vicky White's death.
This is the progress we need to see.
September's job report showing solid growth of the economy, adding more than 260,000 jobs. But is it a sign the Fed's plan to slow inflation working? Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Olivia Schuler. Well, like I mentioned, we want to get right over to WAAY 31 meteorologist Carson Meredith. He's in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. And Carson, I know they said earlier there was that chance for frost, but is that still accurate for the rest of the weekend?
It is, Olivia. Tomorrow morning in particular in southern Tennessee, we actually have our first frost advisory of this fall. I'll show you that in just a moment. Let's show you what's happening out at the Space and Rocket Center here at 6 o'clock. A nice, comfortable, albeit cool morning out there. Temperature-wise, we're in the low 50s. 52 last check here in the Rocket City. Elsewhere, good morning Athens. It's 49 degrees, 48 in Decatur right now, 54 in Muscle Shoals, 52 in Moulton, 52 in Scottsboro, and it's 52 in Guntersville. So 52 is the popular number. A little bit cooler in our Tennessee counties where we're checking in at 46. In both Fayetteville and Lawrenceburg. Nice and quiet across the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. We are going to keep that sunshine around all day long. There are a few clouds still with us this morning, and that's in the wake of the cold front that moved through last night. So heading out the door this morning, I do expect those temperatures to drop another degree or two before that sun comes up. And then we'll start climbing back into the mid-50s by 9 a.m. Your forecast high today is much cooler compared to what we have seen the last couple of days. We go from the mid-80s yesterday to the low 70s today. If you're lucky, here in Huntsville, we'll go with that forecast high of 71, but a lot of you will be staying in the 60s all day long, despite all that sunshine. So there is that frost advisory. You notice our main concern for frost tonight is going to be in Tennessee. Our entire Tennessee tier is under that frost advisory. Starts a little after midnight and is with us until 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Not expecting much in the way of frost here in North Alabama, but those cooler temperatures are here to stay this weekend. We'll dive deeper into the rest of your weekend forecast in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. We'll make sure you always are prepared for whatever weather heads our way by downloading our WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Weather app. With it, you'll have access to live weather updates for your neighborhood. We're on top of multiple developments in Casey White's murder cases. Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Connolly filed a motion for a gag order ahead of White's upcoming trial for the death of Vicky White. Connolly wants all those involved barred from talking to the media. That includes attorneys, any law enforcement agencies involved, and representatives of both Casey and Vicky White. Connolly says comments made to the media could taint the potential jury pool. It's been a long-awaited upcoming trial for the family of Connie Ridgway, as the month marks 7 years since Connie was stabbed to death in her apartment. Casey White confessed to that murder, but when he escaped from the Lauderdale County Jail in April, it put the trial on pause. Now the DA wants Casey White tried for his jailbreak and the death of the corrections officer Vicky White as soon as possible. The DA asked the judge to set a trial date for December 12th, the same date that White was scheduled to go for the court for a murder of Connie Ridgway. A judge hasn't ruled on the DA's motion for a trial date, but did grant Casey White's arraignment for next week. Although it's for the murder of Vicky White, Connie Ridgway's son says he'll be in that courtroom.
It's just surreal. You know, you're looking at the person. How could you do this to my mother? Like how in the world? And if you look at him, he's enormous. You know, he's 6'9", 300 something pounds, and my mom is like 5'2", 120 pounds. And it's just hard to describe. It's just really surreal.
Ridgway's son, Austin Williams, is hoping he'll have more clarity after the arraignment on when White's jailbreak trial will start. During White's arraignment next week, a judge will also rule on motions filed by the defense team, including one stating the death penalty is unconstitutional and should not be applied in this case. Casey White is scheduled to be arraigned for Vicky's murder on Tuesday. A judge is expected to decide if the trial for that death will begin on December 12th, the same day White's trial for the 2015 murder of Connie Ridgway is supposed to begin. We'll have a reporter inside the courtroom to bring you that decision. We also know White won't be transferred to the Coleman County Jail, and in new court filings, his attorneys withdrew the request for him to be moved to the Coleman Donaldson State Prison in Westminster. The initial request was to make it easier to consult with White as they prepare for both murder trials. A Tuscumbia man will spend more than 4 years in prison after pleading guilty to a murder. Mario Richardson shot and killed Jonathan Kniper on Columbia Avenue back on June of 2020. His plea deal comes with a 20-year sentence, with more than 3/4 of that suspended. And these two convicted murderers lost appeals. Shadid Abdul Fakwa shot his own cousin Jermaine Jones 13 times in Decatur in 2019. Dale Hobson shot and killed his wife Joyce Bates in Marshall County back in 2016. There's solid job growth in the U.S. September's job report showed the economy added 263,000 jobs. The unemployment rate ticked down to 3.5%, with employees added mostly in leisure, hospitality, and healthcare. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates to make borrowing more expensive in hopes of slowing down inflation. One economics says the data should show that the plan is working.
This has been a key goal of the Federal Reserve. They worried that the economy was running too hot. They wanted a so-called soft landing. Well, if you wanted to tell the first chapter of that soft landing story, it would be pretty much the set of numbers we saw.
But a recent survey asked 400 CEOs of large companies about the economic outlook. 91% predict a deeper recession in the next year. NASA is preparing for a November launch of Artemis 1. They lost an opportunity this month due to Hurricane Ian. The rocket had to be moved to the vehicle assembly building for protection. Engineers are using the time to inspect the SLS and replace batteries on the rocket boosters and Orion spacecraft. When they are done, they will roll back to launch pad 39B at Kennedy Space Center. No firm date for the next launch attempt has been announced.
One of these days, we'll get Artemis 1 off the launch pad once and for all. Check the clock at 6:07. It is a Saturday morning, and it is a gorgeous start to the day. That's the view of Decatur, where you see that first light of day on the WAAY 31 Skycam network. But if you look closely, you can still see some of that thin cloud cover out there, and those clouds are in association with the cold front that moved through North Alabama last night. We're not really noticing that big chill just yet, but trust me, we will later on today when those temperatures, those high temperatures, are staying in the 60s. Still a great day to have lunch or dinner outside. A cool breeze will be with us. Lunchtime temperature 67. By dinner will be in the mid 60s as well. Some of you may be lucky enough to get into the low 70s today, but more than anything else, we'll stay in the upper 60s all day. And like we mentioned, it's going to be a bit breezy. We'll see some of those gusts getting around 15, maybe even 20 miles per hour all day long. That wind coming out of the north and northeast, reinforcing that cooler air that's going to be settling in for most of the upcoming weekend. Now, the afternoon highs are still very comfortable. 71 today here in the city. We're all back into the mid 70s tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine to go around. But like we mentioned, that frost potential is in the forecast, especially tomorrow morning. We'll walk you through when we'll finally start to see those temperatures climb and look ahead to rain chances that are finally back in the forecast. Coming up in just a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, not many sports teams can claim an undefeated victory except the outfield Angels. In this week's Alabama Original, we take a look at the Sand Mountain team breaking down barriers.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Coming up on GMA, the latest in the war in Ukraine, Russia launching new missile strikes in Kharkiv overnight, a massive fire exploding on a critical bridge linking Russia and Crimea. More on the damage and what it means as the fight over territory continues. Plus, controversy in the Miss USA pageant, the negative reaction from some contestants after the winner was crowned. Why some are questioning the competition's legitimacy, and the statement from the president of the Miss USA organization on all the allegations. And finally, as the coldest air hits the Northeast and the cost of home heating is expected to rise, we're helping share tips from one energy efficient expert to help you save. It's all ahead right here on GMA.
Huntsville Hospital is offering the new Pfizer COVID-19 booster shots. Anyone 12 years and up can get one. They're available Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. Appointments can be made online. More information is on our website, WAAYTV.com. Deaths related to breast cancer are falling in the United States. That's according to the latest report from the American Cancer Society. Researchers say fatal breast cancer cases fell by 43% from 1989 through 2020, despite the number of cases going up slightly. The findings also show that although Black women have a lower chance of getting the disease, their death rate is 40% higher than those of women from other races. Officials say one way to address this situation is to improve hospital access and breast cancer screening opportunities. And if you've driven by Wilson Park in Florence, you might have noticed pink water is floating from the fountain. It's for Sunday's Pink in the Park. The breast cancer awareness event will celebrate survivors with live music, entertainment, and vendors. There will also be a survivors walk at 4:30 in the afternoon. Drake State wants to help collect blankets for breast cancer patients. Donation boxes are set up around town at places like Drake State, Twickenham Nutrition, and Zoom Indoor Cycling. All blankets will be donated to chemo patients at the Clearview Cancer Institute. Drake State asks all blankets to be new and soft. You have until Tuesday, October 25th to donate. A group of special needs athletes in Sound Mountain are throwing out stereotypes and collecting a win after win. WAAY 31 goes to Fort Payne to meet the Outfield Angels. In this week's Alabama Original, here's Luke Hydash.
I am playing be winning.
Winning. It's something 24-year-old Andrew is used to. The same goes for Presley.
I'm a winner.
And Tommy.
Don't feed, I'm a one.
You see, they all play for the Outfield Angels, a special needs softball team in Fort Payne.
There wasn't a place for them. Now there's a team.
Rusty Wynn helped make the team a reality 11 years ago. As the father of a young man with Down syndrome, he wanted his son to have a safe place to play, have fun, and feel like a winner. 11 years later, the Outfield Angels haven't stopped.
There ain't no other team can say 11 years and never been beat. It's nobody to play till we give you an opportunity to play us.
The team plays every Thursday, taking on different teams from within the community. And when these players step up to the plate, it gives them a sense of confidence, accomplishment, and belonging. A home run for everyone.
I don't try help other people how are they doing? Like me, every watches, all other people.
If you come to the game and watch them come around third base, you can see the excitement and the joy that they have. They've never had that opportunity before.
Way to go, guys! Fun. Yeah.
With an Alabama Original in Fort Payne, I'm Luke Hydash, WAAY 31 News.
All right, very nice. Well, the Outfield Angels has players from kids all the way up to the age of 60. This and all of Luke's past Alabama Originals are on our website, WAAYTV.com. Right now, you'll find them all under the Features tab.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Carson Meredith and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
6:16. It is a beautiful start to our weekend. That, of course, the view of the WAAY 31 Skycam Network. See that sunrise getting underway. There's still some clouds out there, but those will be out of here in the next few hours. Temperatures, we're waking up in the low 50s in most spots. I do expect those temperatures to drop another degree or two before that sun gets a bit higher in the sky. So you'll need those jackets heading out the door. No need for the umbrella anytime soon. WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network is nice and quiet, but we do finally have rain chances back in your 7-day forecast. For today, though, just fine. Look how cool this afternoon is going to be. We were in the mid-80s yesterday. Many of you will struggle to get to 70 today. Here in Huntsville, we'll go with 71, but our outlying areas, our higher terrain, will likely stay in the 60s all day long, but that crisp, cool fall air is going to be staying with us, as will that sunshine. Great day to be outside. Great day to get some chores done around the house. I was driving in this morning. A lot of those leaves have already fallen onto the roads. Need to get some raking done around the yard. Should be just fine today and tomorrow. A little bit breezy, but that's the only major concern. We mentioned a few minutes ago we could see those gusts around 20 miles per hour today. That wind will subside just a bit heading into Monday, and we stay dry for the first half of the work week. And this weekend too, of course, there's future radar with those temperatures. This is 4 o'clock today. You notice many of us upper 60s, near 70, but look at our southern Tennessee counties. If you're watching us in Fayetteville, Lawrenceburg, you will likely be staying in the mid 60s all day long. We have that frost potential tonight in our Tennessee counties. That's where we have a frost advisory in effect. You notice those temperatures tonight for most of us will hover near 40 degrees. And one thing that will be limiting our frost potential, in addition to those temperatures around 40, is the fact that the wind will still be with us tonight. But we'll still have that chance for frost here and there. A cool start to your Sunday, of course. And we're heading for the low to perhaps mid 70s Sunday afternoon before we keep this pattern going of cool mornings and eventually warmer afternoons once again. We'll call it a steady temperature climb. 78 Monday, 81 Tuesday. And then we're back into the mid 80s on Wednesday. That's before another cold front moves in. Now, as we look ahead to the rest of October, through October 21st in particular, you see all that blue on the map? That means our temperatures will likely stay below average for most of this month. That fall feel is definitely here to stay. Here's that next rain chance we were talking about with another cold front that arrives Wednesday night. We'll start to see a few showers past sunset Wednesday. Widespread rain, potentially heavy at times as possible throughout the day on Thursday, and we'll start to dry things out on Thursday night. Could actually see around 1, maybe 2 inches of rain by the middle part of next week. And goodness knows we need all the rain we can get right now, given how dry we've been really over the last month or so. Until then, we've got plenty of sunshine to talk about. Struggling to get to near 70 today. We're back in the low 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we cool back down into the 70s once that front moves through next Thursday. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. We're taking a look right now over Huntsville. Lots of activities, fall festivities going on across the Rocket City. So when we come back, we'll share with you what some of those are. Welcome back, everybody. It's 6:23 on your Saturday morning. Well, it is the last day of the Tennessee Valley Old Time Fiddlers Convention. Saturday's admission is $20. Tonight, Mile 12 performs at 7, and the new champion of fiddle will be crowned tonight. Guntersville city leaders are getting ready to celebrate fall. The Lake City Fall Fest continues today in downtown Guntersville. There will be pumpkin bowling, live music, food trucks, vendors, and even hay rides. All of those activities start at 10 o'clock this morning and wrap up at 6 in the afternoon. Alabama A&M is looking to make it 2 wins in a row this weekend. They host Grambling State Saturday. The Bulldogs got a much-needed win last week during homecoming. It was the first win of the season. Kickoff for this Saturday's game is at 1 o'clock. And it's on everybody's mind. The Tide's game against Texas A&M kicks off at 7 in Tuscaloosa today. Head coach Nick Saban said the decision to play quarterback Bryce Young won't be made until pregame warm-ups. Young was injured during last week's game against Arkansas. He worked towards the sideline and landed on his shoulder after being tackled. Saban says the injury will not cause Young to be out long-term, if not back by tonight. Prosecutors are wanting a gag order in Casey White's upcoming murder trial. Why the DA said he filed the motion.
Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Morning News starts now.
The Lauderdale County District Attorney filed a motion for a gag order in Casey White's murder case. Why he says it will help justice prevail when Casey White stands for trial for the death of Vicky White. And a local nonprofit helping the homeless keep warm for the winter. What items they're asking to donate. And grab your jackets this morning. You're waking up to a chilly morning. Temperatures are staying low all weekend long. Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Olivia Schuler. Well, we mentioned it is pretty chilly out there this morning, so we want to bring in now WAAY 31 meteorologist Carson Meredith. He's in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. And Carson, we talked about it the first half hour, but you say there's a chance for frost already?
There is indeed, Olivia. A little bit early, but yes, if you live in Tennessee in particular, that's where we have the best chance to see frost later on tonight. This morning, it's still on the warmer side, at least compared to the last few mornings. We're all waking up in the low 50s. That, of course, the view of Muscle Shoals right now on our WAAY 31 Skycam network. Look in the background, you can see some of that cloud cover still left from the cold front, I should say, that moved through last night. Those clouds will be pretty much gone in the next few hours. Temperature-wise, we're in the low 50s here in Huntsville, 52, 48 degrees in Decatur this morning. Muscle Shoals you just saw at 54, and Scottsboro is checking in at 50 degrees. We'll stay nice and quiet on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Your weekend forecast is completely dry, but we do have rain chances returning by the middle part of next week. Until then, that nice crisp fall air, it's here to stay. Many of you, though, today will be struggling to get out of the 60s. Here in Huntsville, we'll go with that forecast high near 80 degrees, 70 degrees, I should say, and that sunny but cool feel is going to be staying with us for the next few days. We'll slowly warm things up, yes, heading for the mid-70s tomorrow, and then we get close to 80 degrees once again by Monday. But you see, tomorrow morning we have that chance for our first frost of the season. We'll dive deeper into that frost potential and talk about just how chilly it might be for any fall fun you might have planned later on today. That coming up in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Connolly filed a motion for a gag order ahead of White's upcoming trial for the death of Vicky White. Connolly wants all those involved barred from talking to the media. That includes attorneys, any law enforcement agencies involved, and representatives of both Casey and Vicky White. Connolly says comments made to the media could taint the potential jury pool. Prosecutors want Casey's murder trial for the death of Vicky to start in December. They're calling for it to begin the same day Casey is set to stand trial in December for the 2015 murder of Connie Ridgway. Now Ridgway's family fears that the trial could be delayed again. WAAY 31's Nicole Zedek spoke to Connie Ridgway's son, who has been fighting for justice for his mother for years.
It's been a long-awaited trial for the family of Connie Ridgway. October marks 7 years since Connie was stabbed to death in her apartment, a murder that Casey White confessed to committing. That's why he was in the Lauderdale County Jail in the first place, before he escaped 2 months before he was set to go on trial. Now, Casey White is charged with another murder for the killing of corrections officer Vicky White. And the Lauderdale County DA wants that trial to start as soon as possible. He asked the judge to set a trial date for December 12th. The same date Casey White was set to stand trial for the 2015 murder of Connie Ridgway. While a judge hasn't ruled on the DA's request for a trial date, Ridgway's son hopes it won't delay justice for his mother.
I definitely would want the murder trial to go first. I mean, yeah, we've been waiting on that for 7 years, forever. And it's just, there's so many questions, like how in the world did Casey White know her mother? What was he doing in her apartment? It's just as shocking now as it was then.
Ridgway's son, Austin Williams, said when Casey White confessed to killing his mother, Austin thought the case was over. But COVID delayed the trial, and then Casey White escaped, and the years-long fight for justice just kept getting dragged out. Austin Williams will be at Casey White's arraignment on October 11th and hopes he'll gain more clarity on how White's jailbreak trial could impact the long-awaited murder trial for his mother. In studio, Nicole Zedek, WAAY 31 News.
During White's arraignment next week, a judge will also rule on motions filed by the defense team, including one stating the death penalty is unconstitutional and should not be applied in this case. Winter is just a few short months away, maybe even weeks possibly here in North Alabama right now with those temperatures, but a local nonprofit is getting ahead of the cold weather, holding a clothing drive for the homeless. WAAY 31's Matt Patsowitz explains how you can help those in need.
While the weather might feel great for most right now, bitter cold weather is not too far away. And as the temperatures start to decrease, continuum of care for the homeless is trying to make sure everyone on the street is safe.
If you were outside and it was freezing cold, what would you want?
For most, that's a question you will never have to answer. According to the White House, on any given night in the U.S., more than 500,000 people may be homeless. Many Americans want to help reduce that number by volunteering.
Oh gosh, I've been doing this probably 15 years. I think I could do it in my sleep.
Lynn Bullard has pledged herself to helping those less fortunate. She feels working for the continuum of care for the homeless and their clothing drives is important.
This way we can keep them warm during the cold season. I mean, you can imagine being outside and it's, it's in the, low degrees.
The group is accepting donations of gently used or new items, such as coats, gloves, and sweatshirts. Bullard says donating clothes to those in need creates a bond.
But it's all about developing relationships and developing trust. And this is one of the first ways to do it.
She says one lesson she learned as a little girl makes her want to continue to do this.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I think I've still got a little wooden ruler that belonged to my dad that has that written across it. But that's something, the golden rule, that's something that we can all embrace and we should all live by.
From now until February, the group is accepting your donations. A pair of gloves or a hat can help keep someone warm in frigid conditions. Reporting in Huntsville, Matt Paskowitz, WAAY 31 News.
If you'd like to donate, there are 15 sites across northern Alabama you can donate to. A full list of those places is on our website, waaytv.com. This man, Gregory Scott, is charged with rape, sodomy, and sex abuse. His arrest comes after Limestone County Sheriff's deputies were called to the hospital for a reported rape. Scott was identified as the suspect. New information suggests COVID-19 vaccines saved a lot of lives in 2021. A new study found vaccinations led to up to 370,000 fewer coronavirus deaths last year, as well as nearly 700,000 fewer hospitalizations. Researchers analyzed information from nearly 27 million Medicare enrollees and looked at data from the Delta and Omicron surges in 2021. And with this in mind, health officials are urging more Americans to get updated COVID-19 boosters. And Huntsville Hospital is actually offering the new COVID-19 booster from Pfizer. Anyone 12 years and up can get one. They are available for you to get Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. Appointments can be made online, and we have more information on our website. That's waaytv.com. Deaths related to breast cancer are falling in the United States. That's according to the latest report from the American Cancer Society. Researchers say fatal breast cancer cases fell by 43% from 1989 through 2020, despite the number of cases going up slightly. The findings also show that although Black women have a lower chance of getting the disease, their death rate is 40% higher than those of women from other races. Officials say one way to address this situation is to improve hospital access and breast cancer screening opportunities. And if you've driven by Wilson Park in Florence, you may have noticed pink water is flowing from the fountain. It's for Sunday's Pink in the Park. The breast cancer awareness event will celebrate survivors with live music, entertainment, and vendors. There will also be a survivors walk at 4:30 in the afternoon.
So many outdoor festivities happening across North Alabama this weekend, and it is going to be perfect fall weather for anything you have might planned. That's the view of Lake Gunnersville here at 637 on the WAAY 31 Skycam Network. Temperature-wise, we're a few degrees warmer this morning compared to the last few, in the low to mid 50s in most spots. Throughout the day today, we'll only climb to near 70, so you'll probably want to keep that light jacket with you all day long, especially if you're going to be outside throughout the day. Not a bad idea to have those sunglasses either. There's a few clouds with us still this morning, but they'll start to move out and they're pretty much gone by about 9 or 10 a.m. And of course, it's never a bad idea to get your weekend started with a nice warm cup of joe, right? Any of those fall festivities, we'll call it the fall fun forecast on this Saturday. By 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're hovering near 70 degrees. Here in Huntsville, we are going with that forecast high around 71. But again, if you live outside the city, if you live in the higher terrain, you will likely be stuck in the 60s all day. day. And then by 5 o'clock this evening, still that jacket weather. Will be down in the upper 60s later on tonight. We do have our first chance for frost of this fall season later on tonight, a little bit early this year. The main frost concern, though, is going to be in southern Tennessee. You see our entire Tennessee tier is under that frost advisory that starts a little after midnight tonight and stays with us through about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about how low those temperatures go and give you an update on some very much needed rain on the way. Coming up in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, if you think you're a great marksman, you can put your skills to the test this weekend. The event is happening at Bullet and Barrel. We'll tell you more about it next.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
The White House says President Joe Biden's warnings that the world is at the risk of a nuclear Armageddon were meant to convey that no one should underestimate the extraordinary danger if Russia deploys tactical nuclear weapons in its war against Ukraine. ABC's Ty Hernandez has the latest.
The Biden administration is downplaying remarks by the president in which he said Russian President Vladimir Putin's threats to use tactical nuclear weapons pose the greatest prospect of Armageddon since President Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. The State Department is echoing similar remarks by the White House, saying the U.S. has not seen a reason to adjust its nuclear posture or seen any indication Russia is preparing to use nuclear weapons in the near future.
What President Biden was speaking to yesterday was how seriously we take these threats and how seriously we take the threats of nuclear weapons.
All this after President Biden spoke at an off-camera fundraiser, saying he knows Putin well, and he's not joking when he talks about potential use of nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons.
We have been quite clear about that when Russian officials have made this threat over the course of this conflict. This kind of irresponsible rhetoric is not something that should be coming from a leader of an armed nuclear state.
It comes as President Biden believes Putin is growing more desperate on the battlefield after a series of Ukrainian military successes in recent weeks. In Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky says he doesn't think Russia is ready to use nuclear weapons yet, but officials there are laying the groundwork with the Russian public, saying this to the BBC.
They begin to prepare their society. That is very dangerous.
Ukraine says 200 square miles of its territory and dozens of settlements have been retaken in the south in the past week, and Ukrainian forces are also advancing in the east. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
Honor the deal, delay the trial. Elon Musk asks for the legal proceedings to stop as he works to finalize the deal to buy Twitter. But Thursday, a judge would only agree to delay this month's trial, not cancel it. Musk now has until October 28th to buy Twitter under the originally agreed upon terms of $44 billion. If that doesn't happen, the judge will set a trial for November. Musk has been trying to back out of the acquisition for months now. President Biden is pardoning all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. He made the announcement on Thursday and is encouraging governors to do the same for state offenses. Biden is also ordering a review of whether marijuana should be a Schedule I narcotic. Some say those steps are long overdue and a way for Biden to keep a campaign promise. Others point out the announcement comes up about a month before the midterms.
I'm announcing a pardon for all prior federal offenses for the simple possession of marijuana. There are thousands of people who are convicted for marijuana possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result of that conviction.
Administration officials say no one is serving prison time right now for just federal simple marijuana possession charges, but around 6,500 have been charged with that crime in the last 30 years. The move could wipe their records clean. The fever hasn't broken for the U.S. job market. The federal government reports the economy added 263,000 jobs in September. That's slightly higher than the 250,000 economics estimated. But the robust headline number marks the second month in a row of falling totals, pointing to a labor market slowdown. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate fell back to 3.5% from 3.7%. If you think you're a great marksman, you can put your skills to the test this weekend and join in the fight against hunger. Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 2702 and Bullet and Barrel are holding a shooting competition this Saturday, which is today. All funds and donations will stay right here in our community, going to the North Alabama Food Bank. If you don't want to shoot, you can drop off canned goods and other non-perishable food items. Check out more of those details on our website, WAAYTV.com. The search and rescue missions continue as residents in Florida and South Carolina face daunting cleanup efforts ahead. More than 122 people are confirmed dead by the storm across the two states. But search and rescue crews are still going door to door looking for survivors. Nearly 100,000 structures have already been searched. Division of Emergency Management is encouraging those still looking for a loved one to fill out a missing persons form. That form will go to state and local rescue teams.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Carson Meredith and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
6:47 on this Saturday morning. Let's give you a live view of the WAAY 31 Skycam network. You see plenty of sunshine is on its way, but there's also a few of those thin wispy clouds out there too. Those clouds are in the wake of the cold front that moved through yesterday. They'll start to move out here in the next couple of hours. Temperature-wise, we're in the upper 40s to low 50s wherever you are. And we'll stay nice and quiet on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Plenty of sunshine to go around today, but that cooler air is certainly moving in. And you'll really notice the chill this afternoon. A gorgeous day, yes, definitely feeling like fall, but you'll want those jackets, maybe even sweaters all day. Many of you will be stuck in the 60s. Here Here in Huntsville, though, we'll go with that forecast high near 70. It's a big weekend of SEC football, but it always is this time of year, right? Let's start things off in Athens, Georgia at 2:30 this afternoon. That's where the Auburn Tigers are this weekend, taking on the #2 Bulldogs. Plenty of sunshine just off to our east and temperatures in the mid-70s in Athens later on. And tonight in primetime, 7 o'clock at Bryant-Denny. Boy, we got a good one. Texas A&M taking on the Tide. Clear skies. Make sure you have the jackets, maybe the blankets if you're heading down to T-Town tonight. Kickoff temperature 64 degrees, likely down to the 50s by the end of that game tonight. Here's future radar with those temperatures back here at home. Again, upper 60s for most, lower 70s for a few lucky spots. But look at southern Tennessee. Highs only in the mid-60s later on. And later on tonight, we'll have our chance for our first frost of the season. A couple of things working in our favor, though. One, most of us will drop only into the low 40s, especially in Alabama, slightly cooler temperatures in southern Tennessee. But another thing that will help us is the wind. We'll have that light breeze all night long, around 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that breeze usually helps limit widespread frost potential. Nonetheless, we do have that frost advisory for our Tennessee counties overnight tonight. Beautiful Sunday's on the way with those high temperatures a couple degrees warmer tomorrow, back into the low to mid-70s, and we'll continue this slow but steady temperature climb heading into next week. Our next rain chances finally on the horizon. It comes your way next Wednesday night. We'll start to see a few showers moving in ahead of a cold front. Could actually see some heavier downpours early on Thursday as this front moves through. No severe weather concerns. We'll take any rain we can get at this point, and most of that activity starts to move out as we get towards Thursday night. Again, many of us will see a decent bit of rain, 1 inch in most spots. Could see some higher amounts closer to 2 inches in those areas that see heavier downpours. That again next Wednesday and especially next Thursday. Quick update of the tropics for you this morning. Still watching Tropical Storm Julia, about to make landfall in Central America as a Category 1 hurricane, I should say, late tonight, early Sunday morning. No impacts to the U.S. whatsoever, but we still have a couple more months in that hurricane season. 7-day forecast, nice and quiet this weekend. Sunshine, highs in the low 70s. Back into the 80s next week before that front brings rain and another cool down by next weekend. Olivia?
All right, Carson. Well, this weather makes for a good day to ride a motorcycle. October 8th celebrates taking to the open road. Seattle detective went beyond the call of duty by changing the lives of young people with a game of chess. CNN's Natasha Chen has more.
How you guys doing?
Denise Bolden goes by Detective Cookie.
Don't judge me, but I don't know how to play chess.
That's okay, I can teach you. Known for her weekly chess club. I want you to act, not react. And for bringing sunshine to the Seattle rain. I love to dance. The former model and Soul Train dancer grew up on the south side of Chicago and saw how police harassed her brothers.
Make them get on the ground, search them, and then they just leave. No explanation.
But she also remembers a kind officer at school.
We could come to him and talk to him just about anything.
She has now modeled his community spirit and trust, rising to the rank of detective, serving Seattle Police's youth outreach program.
You are welcome here.
She mainly works the Rainier Beach neighborhood, designated in 2010 as the country's most diverse zip code based on U.S. Census data. She plays with kids, helps them find jobs, pays for groceries, gives out her cell phone number.
Someone would text me and say, this is the name of the person who did it.
Yet her boldest move, starting a chess club in 2006. When neighborhood children first asked her, she couldn't really play.
Actually, I beat you in a chess game.
I put restrictions on myself. I said that I wasn't smart enough to play chess.
But she quickly learned.
Life is like chess. If you're not careful with what you're doing, it's going to catch up with you. There's going to be consequences.
Chess wasn't an easy sell to all children.
One kid raised his hand. He said, I don't play chess because chess is for smart people. Another kid raised his hand. I don't play chess because chess is for white people.
But she showed them how to think beyond stark black and white terms.
You could threaten me with this, but then I'm going to take the threat away. There's another better move for you.
Jabril Hassan joined her chess club when he was a teen.
I had a lot of behavior problems with my parents. They had to take me out of school.
But Detective Cookie set him on a path to college.
She really changed my life.
He studied criminology because of her and is now a professor at Bellevue College and Seattle University.
If Detective Cookie were a chess piece, which one would she be?
Detective Cookie for me is the queen on the chessboard because she has invested interest in the protection of community. She just happened to be a police officer. She's actually like a teacher. She's actually like a social worker.
So revered, a chess park has now opened in her name.
It's a dream come true. Check. Everybody plays chess every day, no matter what you're doing. You got to make a move. You got to make a decision.
Natasha Chen, CNN, Seattle.
Love that story. Well, October 8th celebrates the love of motorcycle riding, taking to the open road. This month is a great time to ride. It's typically the end of the riding season for a lot of motorcyclists before winter sets in. Carson, a good day if you want to take a motorcycle out.
Great day, great weekend for anything. It's going to be a little cool, but that sun is here to stay.
I'm
no
excited
complaints.
about it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. We'll see you back here in just an hour. See you then.